Not just the developed ones. Undeveloped nations have paid maternity leave. What is going on, America? Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be checking out what's clearly a scam, but Americans have been conditioned to believe it's normal. Part 3. We did the first part. We did the second part. Now we're doing the third part. Original channel is called TikTok Reacts. There's going to be a link in the description section down below. There always is. Let's check this out. These are good compilation videos.
What's something that's clearly a scam, but Americans have been conditioned to believe is normal?
Hi, I'd like to get a degree in political science. Great career choice. If you want to do that, you have to take all these classes. Sounds good, I'll do that. Hello everyone, I'm your professor. I know you just paid $2,000 to take my course this semester, but here's another $100 to $200 bill for a Pearson e-text I need you to purchase for this class. Professor, what comes with that book? Great question. You'll get the readings, the homework, all the assignments, the quizzes, and the exams, all from the book. Oh, so Pearson did all the work. Precisely. They wrote the book. Yep. They wrote the assignments and quizzes. And even wrote our final and unit exams. It's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah. So wait, if Pearson did everything, why am I paying $2,000 for the class? Oh, look at that. We're all out of time. Class dismissed. See you guys next week.
That America's the greatest
Yeah, exactly. They're doing it from a textbook, but it's like, why am I paying for the class? I could just go buy the book and, do it myself, pretty much.
country in the world. We've all been told that since like kindergarten, right? It was burned into our brains. There's some things that all Americans should know, and don't worry, I brought receipts. America's ranked 9th in income equality, with 10% of our households holding 75% of the wealth. We're ranked 17th on the Index of Economic Freedom. We're also ranked 17th on the Human Development Index.
Yep.
We're 46th in life expectancy. We're also the only developed country on the planet that doesn't guarantee paid maternity leave.
Yeah.
We're falling behind other countries in wage growth, even though we've had a steadily rising GDP and cost of living. We're not even in the top 20 of healthiest countries. We are in the top 20 for happiest countries. We're number 19, and I know some of that's hard to accept, but hey, at least we're not the biggest polluters in the world. We're number 2.
Yay.
Car registration.
Yeah. Wow. So there was a bunch of there's a bunch of stuff there, and none of it's number 1.
World. We're number 2.
Number 2 behind China.
Car registration fees. Hear me out. I understand that we need car registration. You'll get no argument from me. It helps us catch the bad guys. It helps us know who's on the road. I even understand that we should pay a fee to help with the costs associated of registering the car. However, there are 4 different ways in America that your car registration fees are calculated. Number 1, flat rate. 25 states already have this. That's how it fucking should be. But the other 25 states, mine included, are based off either the value, the weight, or the age of your car.
Yeah, and Indiana, I believe it goes by the age of the vehicle.
Why? Is it harder for the state to register a 2004 versus a 2014? Is it more of a burden for the state to register a $30,000 car versus a $10,000 car? Nope,
point.
It's just one more little scam in America. One cleverly devised, ass-backwards, convoluted way of taking just a little bit more money out of our pockets. I'm not here for it.
Yeah, good point. Like the age of the vehicle, right? Now, I do know, or at least it was a while back, if the vehicle is 10 years old or older, it was a flat rate. Okay. It'd be a certain amount of, just an X amount of money, right? But if it was 10 years old or newer, so newer than 10 years, it would be depending on the year of the vehicle, which doesn't make any sense. Like, why would it cost more to register? They're just typing stuff into a computer.
The price we pay for mobile data and smartphones in general makes any sense at all. It turns out that the US has some of the highest prices in the world for mobile data. This graphic was pretty interesting. So basically, the bluer the country, the more they pay for 1 gigabyte of mobile data. You'll see the giant gaping parts of gray, right? Australia pays less. Most of the Middle Eastern countries and Asian countries, Russia, Europe, parts of Africa, South America. What's going on?
Why is Canada paying more than us? That's interesting. Huh.
Now, the question why may have popped up in your head by now, but for the first time in this series, I can't for sure tell you. Some people say that the US needs more aggressive antitrust laws. Others say that the big four companies aren't really in much competition. Some say that all the money Congress receives from these companies plays a big factor. Whatever the reason, we're really going to need to examine these prices further as smartphones become increasingly required in our society.
So I wonder if this video is going to be just her again, like that, like the last one was basically just that one person. So far, she's been like 3 times. She's been on this one, I believe it was. I don't know if the first one, I think it was her the whole time, right? Nope, there was a guy, yeah. And then her.
That healthcare is a privilege, not a human right. You may remember this from part 1, but I actually got a lot of kickback for that. So let's look at some facts. More than half the world's countries have some form of guaranteed specific right to healthcare written into their constitution. Right. Of the 33 developed nations in the world, US is the only one that doesn't have universal healthcare. The concept of health as a human right has also been expressed in a lot of international treaties dating back to 1965. You can see those right here above. Okay. And again stated by the World Health Organization on Human Rights Day 2017. Here's the United Nations arguing for it earlier this year. And of course, the United Nations has a long history of arguing for healthcare as a human right. Here they are back in 1994. When it comes to healthcare as a human right, the United States is actually behind. Let's change that.
Yeah.
That the minimum.
Well, so far it's just gonna be her, a whole bunch of this one lady. But anyways, yeah, healthcare. It's crazy. All the developed nations, we're the only one that don't have universal healthcare. What is the deal with that? Right? Like, we're basically a third world country here that just has the money of a first world country.
Minimum wage in America is not a big heaping pile of. The federal minimum wage in America is $7.25. Some states went higher than that. Other states did not. There's even a couple states that don't have a minimum wage. That's why we have a federal. But the federal hasn't changed since 2009. Okay. You know what has? The cost of living. But have you heard of a living wage? A living wage is defined as the bare minimum that you need to make hourly in order to meet your basic necessities. Food.
Yeah, exactly. It's been $7.25 for the longest time. Everything else goes up. The prices of everything goes up. Not the price of what you get paid.
Food, water, shelter, clothing. And one of the best schools in the country, MIT, actually created a living wage calculator. You can go and search your state and even your county to find out what the living wage is based on the cost of living there. Fun fact, only 3 states in the country actually have a minimum wage that meets the living wage. If you're single, God forbid you have any kids. And all I'm saying is it might be time to reevaluate, man.
Yeah, might be.
I don't know. How about the fact that employers get to choose how much vacation time you get? The U.S. is the only developed country in God, I'm so sick of saying. I'm sorry, I'm so sick of saying that. But the U.S. is the only developed country that does not have a mandatory minimum vacation time. Every person living in the EU gets a minimum vacation time of 20 paid days. There are some countries that even have a mandated 30 paid vacation days. Okay. Meanwhile, we're chilling in America like, oh, you know, we'll let the employers make the decision on this one. Like, that's not the biggest conflict of interest ever. And so now we live in a country where if you work 5 years for a company, you'll get an extra week off. So while you hope that the boss lets you off a couple hours early today and you celebrate that Christmas is on a Friday so you can have a 3-day weekend, just remember it didn't have to be this way, and it doesn't have to be this way in future.
Yeah, and a lot of times with the time off, you have to work at a place for like a lot of times like 6 months or a year before you can even get that time off. And then, you know, it might be like a week or two if you're lucky. And then, you work there another 5 years and then they might give you another week if you're lucky.
That it's okay to not have a law that mandates paid maternity leave.
Yeah,
The
that
United
one too.
States is the only developed country that does not have a paid maternity leave mandated for new moms. In fact, 97% of all countries on the planet, not just the developed ones, have a paid maternity leave.
Not just the developed ones. Undeveloped nations have paid maternity leave. What is going on, America?
But we don't. Here, for example, Australia, 18 weeks.
18 weeks.
Croatia, 30 weeks. Ireland, 26 weeks. The United Kingdom, 39 weeks.
Jeez.
Bulgaria, 58 weeks. Even Mexico, which a lot of Americans like to think
58
that they're
weeks.
better than, has 12 weeks of paid maternity leave. It definitely has its perks: lower infant mortality, better secure attachments between mom and child, better physical and mental health for mom, obviously.
Right.
And something like 82% of Americans actually support this. So what up, government? That paying $800 to $1,200 a month for childcare is normal? Surprise, Sade! We actually don't have the highest childcare costs in the world. We have the third worst. Although our
It's only the
government has
third.
determined that more than 7% of your income going to childcare is unaffordable, more than 70% of families report spending more than 10% of their income. 63%
Yeah, I believe
of
it.
parents have reported making changes to their careers in order to meet their childcare needs, going from full-time to part-time or even leaving the workforce entirely.
Yeah.
Childcare has gone up 12% since 2014 alone. God forbid we look at the pandemic numbers. So how are parents fitting this into their budget? They go further into debt, they stop paying off their debt, or they stop saving money. Hey, but
Saving money? You got to have the money to save it, right?
at least we don't have the highest, right? That's a flex, right? That's why some countries pay a cash stipend for kids, but that's part 18.
Part 18.
Medic-
Oh, wow. Finally, somebody else. It's not the same lady over and over and over and over.
Medicaid. Everybody thinks that if you have a chronically ill child that you can just apply for Medicaid and you're going to get it and that they're going to take care of your child. When in reality, they don't. They get to dictate the type of care your child gets and where they get to get it. And even if your child needs care somewhere that you're not at, they have the ability to say, no, you can't get that care. And because you have Medicaid, the hospital cannot allow you to be self-pay unless the Medicaid actually denies their claim. And that could take anywhere from 1 to 3 months. The fact that Americans actually believe that our country is helping chronically ill children is a complete scam in itself. Our government preys on
Propaganda.
the families of children with chronically ill conditions that can't afford to do all the treatments that they need. And unless you live in one of the cities like Philadelphia or Boston, then you're stuck getting the care that is offered where you live, or you need to pack up all your stuff and move to one of those cities with nobody around you and no support so that your child can get the care they deserve.
Yeah, rural areas don't have, the best hospitals. They can do the basic hospital stuff, but not like specialized treatments and stuff like that. So, yeah.
It's a scam.
Herbalife, waist trainers, fat burners, detox teas, juice cleanses, keto, Bearvana, black seed oil, medical medium, Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz. Yeah, everybody's trying to sell everything in the world to do this or do that. None of it works.
The Doctrine of Hell. You know, fire, brimstone, burning for all eternity, being tortured by Satan. The biblical references to hell in the Bible, as American Christians know it, are threefold. 1, Sheol, a place of holding, a holding place waiting for judgment. 2, Hades, which is borrowing from the Greek conceptions of the underworld. And 3, the word commonly translated to hell in the New Testament is actually Gehenna. Gehenna was the city dump outside of Jerusalem where they burned trash. It was symbolically a place of national judgment, a place where God would hold Israel accountable for not having justice in their society. When the Bible was translated into English in the Middle Ages, translators didn't think English-speaking people would know where Gehenna was, so they used the word hell, which just meant to cover, like farmers would hell their potatoes in the winter. So yes, the
Really?
Doctrine of Hell is a scam and is used to terrify and control people into submission.
Well, there we have that. I guess that's what hell means, guys. Let's check out some comments, right? What do you think? Comment time? Somebody says, yep, I'm Australian and so glad that we have it so good. I would hate to be an American under the illusion that they are really great. You're really not. Yeah, they do. They push it down your throat. Like they really, 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 really want you to believe that this is the greatest nation on earth. And most people really, really, really believe it for a while, and then they grow up. Some of them realize that's not the case, like me. I started realizing, hey, America's not what they say it is. Other people, they just keep on, keeping on. You know what I mean? Blinded by the propaganda that shields their eyes, right? So let's see here. This person says the last person is wrong. Hell as a word derived from something completely different, though in truth Gehenna is indeed the actual word used. The changing of the word, however, is not an indication that the concept as such is non-existent. If we use the term vegetable for fruits, does that mean that fruits do not exist? Because that is her basic claim. I can see what he's trying to say with that, but I don't know. What do you guys think, right? Useless school education. Also healthcare, tips, housing, and cars. Yeah. All right. This person says minimum 28 days here in the UK. I'm self-employed, so a different situation, but my husband gets 35 days off. By the way, none of that includes weekends. So a minimum of 5.5 weeks off, and my husband has 7 weeks off. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, because weekends, it's like bonus days, right? Well, anyways, I'm going to end the video here. You guys have a super fun, awesome day. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.